YouTube, how we doing? PPS here, YouTube play of the day. We got two spots for you today, one NBA, one college basketball. Looking forward to today's action. I have not done a YouTube play of the day since Thursday, so it's been a little bit. I only played one spot on Thursday. That was Giannis over 41.5 points, rebounds against Denver. Absolutely smoked that. So feel good about that, kind of coming in with a little momentum here on the show. Hopefully you guys are following me over on Twitter. I think I hit my last 2 or 3 write-ups. For those write-ups are going to be usually what I would do for my YouTube play of the day. It's just I just didn't have time to do a video, so I just pretty much used all the info that I would use for the show there. So let's start out with NBA. I'm going to actually play a really scary number here, and honestly, I'm nervous about it, but just feels really high. I'm going to be playing Giannis under 46.5 points plus rebounds. Let me pull up the number here, 46.5. It's minus 125 now. So must have just got hit. I'll still play it at that number. Let me put it at minus 125. I know this is probably the best matchup you can get, right? I mean, obviously, Giannis is an absolute dog. He just cashed for me on the last show here. So unfortunately, I'm going against what I just played in my own Bucks, but it's just crazy here, dude. I don't know how we go to this number when he's playing 31, 32 minutes a game. Even against the Denver, right? I mean, played 33 minutes. Yeah, he got 47, but 19 rebounds. That's obviously a little bit of it being a little bit out there, like a little bit of an outlier. That was the letter I was looking for. But when you have a game like this against the Hawks, obviously I think he's going to get his. But for him to be able to put up 35 and 10 and still not get there, right? 33-13, like that's absurd. Especially in 32 minutes. Obviously, I know he's a hyper efficient guy, fantastic points per minute guy. But you still got Dame, right? Kuzma's been getting in on the action a little bit more as well. And I mean, they're a pretty good favorite. They're on the road. Do I think that they could win? The Hawks could win, sure. But man, dude, that's just a really, really high number. They're a 7-point favorite. I know the Hawks played them very, very well last time, but I could definitely see these guys sitting some dudes as well. So yeah, I'm assuming something just happened. I would assume I just missed some information or something because I just saw all the Hawks guys' numbers go down. But it is what it is. Under 46.5 points, rebounds, number 1 team in pace. I know the Bucks will be paced up in this spot. But again, I'm more looking at this as he would need to have one of those crazy hyper efficient performances that we know we can have. But damn, dude, that's high for a 31-minute guy in this spot. Looking at the Bucks' upcoming schedule as well, you could start to see they took 3 days off, right? They had 3 days off in between these two. They have a back-to-back tomorrow with Dallas, and then have 2 really big games on a back-to-back Saturday, Sunday. So, if they can get up a decent amount, I see Giannis playing a little bit less as well because they went March 1st, obviously playing at Dallas. Now they're going to Atlanta. They're coming back home for a 3-game homestand on Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. And obviously Saturday, Sunday against Orlando and Cleveland is a much tougher task. So I think they'll be ready for those. And I think this is going to be one of those games where, I mean, he's going to get his, but I think 46.5 is just wildly high. Seeing as, you want to look at numbers on the year, he's 30-12 or 31-12. And now you got a guy like Kuzma who's still getting up his shots a little bit extra there. So like that spot for sure. Play number 2. Let me pull up my screen again. Okay, they just put back up those. Let me pull up my screen. You guys know where I'm going. I'm going to go to Toledo again today, but I'm going to be playing team total. I'm going to be playing their team total here today, 79.5, minus 120. My biggest thing here is motivation. We got a little bit of a worse price, but hey, it's all right. Minus 120. Akron already clinched, right? They already won the 1 seed here in the MAC. They're up 3 games on Miami of Ohio after beating Kent State on the weekend. This Akron team is really, really good, guys. Like, they're very, very good. Obviously, you just won at Ball State. Last loss being at Ohio, who's obviously a very good team. They're third in the conference. Toledo's tied or within a game of Western Michigan is 7 games out. Ohio is 5 games out. Kent State, Toledo, Eastern Michigan are all in the middle of those 2 teams. So, like, they're all within 2 games. So these games are much, much, much more important for Toledo than they are for Akron, because Akron obviously is already clinched. But Akron still plays extremely fast. I think this is going to be one of those games where you could see some of those bench guys coming in a little bit too, because obviously you don't want any of your big boys to get hurt. One thing I do like, obviously, Akron elite offense, but middle of the pack in the defensive end, top 10 in pace. Right, this might be them in Ohio might be the only teams that'll pace up Toledo this year. And the thing is with Toledo is they don't play any defense either. They're bottom 50 defense. Kowalczyk is obviously a great coach, but defense has never really been his strong suit. We saw Toledo put up 78 in their first matchup on the road. Pretty crazy second half, scoring 91 points. The biggest thing for me is that pace was so fast that Toledo actually scored 78 on 37.5% shooting from 2, 27% from 3, but they got 31 foul shots there. So 22 fouls drawn on Akron. They're very high in that metric, top 30 in terms of personal fouls per possession, or I think it's just personal fouls I just looked at. And Toledo, obviously, much, much better in terms of shooting at home versus on the road. They get a home matchup here in a must-win game. I think, obviously, the motivation factor goes towards Toledo. If you want to look at just regular numbers for like points per game and all of that, Toledo, obviously is a team that doesn't really play any defense, so that's a lot easier for them to score. They're averaging 76 points per game on the season. Obviously, Akron is a top 10 in that category, scoring 87 per game at home, 78 on the road, though. So that's obviously something that I look forward to looking at, seeing how good this Akron team is at stopping teams when they don't really care, right? They're averaging 76 points per game allowed on the road this year. I think this is just one of those games where Toledo needs a W. I think that Toledo has obviously got a little bit of confidence too rolling into this one. They really only play like an 8.5 person bench. So that's something too that we're going to see these guys running out there for a while. They got 3 guys who scored 14 points or more in that first matchup. Simmons is obviously one of the big guys. Sam Lewis, really good shooter. I think this is a game that Toledo really needs. I don't think that Toledo can win a muck it up type of game. I think this has to be a shootout for Toledo to win, even with Akron possibly not playing their top guys. So full allotment of minutes. Obviously, I expect them to play, but maybe not the same amount. So looking forward to this one, guys. Appreciate you guys tuning in, popping in. We should be here regular time Wednesday, tomorrow for Pass the Prop. We'll be doing some like promotional stuff, obviously, for March Madness. And obviously NBA has been really good to us on everything else but here. Obviously, we're only 6-5 in the NBA streets on the show. But obviously, Pass the Props, almost 10 units. I think I've hit my last 4 over there. UFC's obviously coming around, MLB there. So should be a fun one. Obviously, if you want to jump in, just make sure you shoot me a DM. And hopefully we'll be able to keep cashing with you guys. So have a good one, guys, and best of luck in all your bets tonight.